Hey, what is going on, guys? Today, this video is all about setting up the Unity 6 Trio. We're gonna show you how to get it all set up within your Unity 6, and then we're gonna take a deep dive inside all of the global actions. So all of the global presets that you can assign to your pedal, and then we'll actually give you some use cases and show you how that works with the Unity 6. So stay tuned. Let's jump on over to the other camera and have a look at the Unity 6 and the Trio. Okay, so here we are in front of the Unity 6 and we have the Trio connected. As you can see, it is just a standard TRS patch cable. There is no 9-volt DC, no power requirements to run the Trio. So just again, standard TRS patch cable plugged into the input. And then in the back, we have it plugged into Uniport 1. So the Trio can be plugged into either Uniport 1 or Uniport 2. And then you can also daisy chain one Trio into another, which will give you a total of 6 switches per Uniport. And that would be a total of 12 switches if you use both Uniports. So here we are. First things first, let's do a little bit of setup. We go into the global settings. The first thing you'll see is we've added a menu icon for the Trio switch, and that'll be for programming. We'll get into that here in just a minute. But first things first, we need to set the Uniport to work with the U6 Trio. So as by default, Uniport 1 is set to MIDI type A. We will come over here and scroll down and select the U6 Trio. And then there's this Trio value offset. We'll actually get into that here in a minute. We'll come back to that. So that's the setup. And then to do the programming, you just go into the Trio switch. And then now you'll see we have this new menu here. As we explained earlier, you can plug into Uniport 1 or 2, and then you can daisy chain two Trios together. So we have Trio number 1, which is the first one plugged into the Uniport. Trio 2 would be the daisy chained. And then of course we have switch A, B, and C. Within here, we have 2 different drop-down menus here. The press action, which you can select between press and long press. So for one U6 Trio, you have 3 switches or presets that are a press, and another 3 that are long press. So you really get 6 presets per Trio. So we're gonna stay in the press for now, and we're just gonna show you a simple example on how to program these 3 switches to toggle on and off the first 3 loops. So here on switch A, we're just gonna select the feature, and we wanna toggle loop 1. Actually, I wanna reverse that. You'll see here in a minute. Switch A, I wanna toggle loop 3. Switch B, toggle loop 2. And as you can see, when you press a new switch, it updates to what's currently programmed on that switch. And then here, we will do toggle loop 1. Now, if you ever wanted to clear what's stored on a switch, you can just go into programming, select empty, and that clears any programming that's stored on that switch. And then of course that'll update as you tap that switch. So let's go back and toggle loop 3. So if we go back to our home menu, now you can see our loop order goes from right to left, kind of like your signal chain on the guitar. So we programmed switch C to turn on loop 1, and then B loop 2, and A loop 3. And then these are toggles, so each time you press it, it's going to toggle it on and off. And then it also remembers the state. So if you ever have a preset that turns on a certain amount of drives and 2 is already on, it'll remember that and turn it right off. So that is how you do a quick program on the short press. Now let's go ahead and take full access of all of our loops. And then let's assign 4, 5, and 6 to the long press. So we go back into the menu, the Trio switch, and then we're gonna do, instead of a press, we're gonna do a long press. You can see that updates to empty. And then we're gonna toggle loop 6. We'll go to B, it's still on a long press. Toggle loop 5. And then C, we're gonna toggle loop 4. We'll go back home. So as you can see, we still have the press assigned, and then we can also do a long press, and that'll turn on our loops 4, 5, and 6. All right, so now that we've shown you how to program some presets into the switches of the Trio, let's talk about why these are global. So as you can see, went into our Trio settings, and these are global actions. So global is just what it sounds like. These presets that we've assigned to switches A, B, and C, the short and long press, those will be accessible across any bank. So you program it once, and then those global actions are available across all banks. So as you can see, we still are able to turn our loops on and off. No matter which bank we're in, those will always stay global. Okay, so let's clear these out and show you another use case that would be very useful for programming the Trio. So how about we do bank up, bank down, toggle a boost on and off, and then with the long presses, we can have access to any 3 loops you choose, but I'll just do the first 3 loops here. So in programming, you can either clear one out or you can just override it. So in this case, this is a press of A, so we're gonna want that to be bank down. That's right up here at the top. C, we want that to be bank up. And then B, we want to, let's toggle a 5 dB boost. And then in our long press, instead of loop 4, we're gonna toggle loop 1. We're gonna toggle loop 2. And then last, we will toggle loop number 3. Now when we exit, you'll see that we have bank up, bank down, and then we also have access to our boost. So boost can be turned on at any time, and then if we long press, we still have access to all 3 of our loops. So here's another way I can see a lot of you using this is, how about we increase our BPM by 1 on switch C, decrease BPM by 1 on A. We will preset up on B short press and preset down B short press or long press. And then we will access any of our 2 favorite loops here on the long press of A and C. So go into global settings. We're gonna hit the Trio programming. So this is our press switch A. So we're going to do -1 BPM. So we scroll down here. Switch C, we're going to do +1 BPM. And then B with the press, we are going to bank up. And then let's move to our long press. B, we are going to bank down. Long press A, let's just say it's toggle loop 5. And long press C is toggle loop 4. All right, so now here we can increase our BPM by 1 going up. We can decrease it by 1 going down. A short press banks up, long press banks down, and then we have access to loops 4 and loops 5. And then I told you earlier we had this Trio offset value. Let me tell you what that does. If you have a brand new Unity 6 or anything over serial number, I don't know, approximately 150, this will come working right out of the bank. Some of the Unity 6s with lower serial numbers, you'll have to offset these values. So as you can see, these switches work exactly like we expected them to. But if we come back into this global settings and this offset value, so if you have an older Unity 6 and the offset value is off, if you come in here and you notice you've programmed things and they're not working like they're supposed to, you're like, wait a second, that was supposed to turn on loop 3 and it's turning on loop 2. That's because you need to have your offset value adjusted. So if you have an older Unity 6, you want to turn on the offset value. If you have a new Unity 6, anything serial number 200 or above, 150 or above, in that range, then your offset value needs to be turned off. And from there, then you'll notice that it works like it's supposed to. All right, guys, so I hope that helped you understand a little bit better how to program the Trio and then give you some use cases on how you can put it to use in your rig. So stay tuned or check the video linked below where we go to a deep dive into the global overrides, which would be sending custom MIDI messages inside each of your individual banks. We'll see you guys later.